Hey, welcome to the replay. So tonight we are going to be making two projects. So this is the transfer we're going to use, Candy Cane Co. So we're going to do one project with this part and another project with that part there. And let me just see, make sure we're all set up here. Okay. And there go the dogs. So this transfer, I haven't used it before, but let me just get my fuzzing towel. So it's super sticky. I actually just cut it apart just a second ago. So it's never been off the sheet. All right, so what I'm going to be putting on, oh my God, I'm throwing everything everywhere here, is this board right here. So this is actually one of the Chalk Couture boards, the 6x18 box frame, and I painted it. So, well, I say painted it, but I did use some chalk paste to stain it, I guess you could say. And I also tried painting it with this, this red paint that I have, but it kind of came out more orange. I don't know. But it looks, I'm looking at it on camera, and it definitely looks a little more orange than it looks in person, but it's got a long story, basically. All right, so we're gonna do this project second. So I'm just gonna slide this out of the way, and hopefully there's enough room here. I don't have much more room on the table. All right, so this is the one we're gonna do first. This is the little one. So this looks nice and kind of old and, I don't know, pretty. I like this kind of look. And I am going to do both sides of this. So this piece is not from Chalk Couture. They do have a piece that's really similar to this though. But I have had these. I was just telling my husband when we were eating dinner, when I first started doing this, I would go and I would buy all these things. I mean, they were, it was always a good deal, at Home Goods or the Target dollar spot. And it's I have so much stuff that I just I need to get rid of stuff, and I need to make stuff on it. So I'm kind of, I don't want to say challenging myself, but yeah, kind of. So I'm going to show you just kind of quickly how I got this look. I'm not going to do, the whole thing. So this is what it used to look like. And that's what we have now. This is great, but I don't know, it's kind of boring. The other thing too, depending on what color you're putting on this, it's, not going to show up that well. I wanted to use the Candy Apple Red, which is this right here. So I wanted it to show up a little better. And I literally just sprayed bleach, and now all I can smell is bleach. So I'm oh. All right, so now I've had this for a couple years, and I honestly don't remember where I bought it, but it is meant for food use, but obviously once we do this, it's not meant for food use, so don't use it. It does have kind of, even though I've had it for a while, it has an oily feel. It's not oily, but I don't know how to explain it. So definitely you want to sand it first. Take a little of the grit off. I'm not going to sand anything right now because I just cleaned up the mess that I previously made. So I did kind of lightly sand this. And now all I'm going to do is take some of the chalk paste. And again, I'm not going to do this whole, the whole thing like I did that, just because you'll get the idea. So I'm just going to scoop a little of the chalk paste out. And you could do the same thing if you have extra paint laying around. And obviously, whatever color you want, doesn't have to be white. This would actually probably look really, really neat if you use black. So you could use chalk paste or, acrylic paint, you have extra house paint, whatever you have left over. I mean, that might be a neat way to make this match your your kitchen or something. So I just mixed a little bit of water in there, and you don't want it to be chunky like how it is right there. I did kind of like experiment with the paste and like how thick it was. It honestly works the best when you get it so that it's like pretty watered down. You're better off doing a couple of coats. So we're just kind of mixing it together. We just keep adding a little water. And now all I'm going to do, the brush that I left to dry out, because that's what I do. I always like laugh. I keep seeing this TikTok. I'm like, because you know, TikTok knows me. And it's like, you know, it's a girl, and she's like, how I wash my brushes, my paintbrushes, and she just has like a whole pile of paintbrushes, and she just like throws them in the garbage. I'm like, that's pretty accurate. That's why I don't use expensive brushes. So you're just gonna like, you know, put it on like this. If you wanted to get this kind of look where it's heavier in the middle, all I did was I kind of just painted it more in the middle and then went over it again. You know, like a little more watered down on the edges. I probably have like not much water left in there, but and just, you know, when you get the idea. All right. And so again, you would just paint the whole thing like that. And whether you're using paste or, you know, your favorite acrylic paint, craft paint, really cheap paint, it doesn't matter. So you let it dry. You can use a heat tool or hair dryer or something like that to like speed it up if you're impatient. And then you're going to just take your sanding block. Actually, let's see. I'll show you on this one, even though I already did this. You're just going to take your sanding block and just think about where things wear. That sounds stupid, but you know, so obviously like the handle, the edges of the handle. So you're just going to take your sanding block. This one is just kind of dead. So I just have a little sand from my palm sander and just kind of go over, you know, go over the edge. If you want to take off a little more, let the wood come through, you know, go like that. And I, you know, and then this side, I kind of did more of an even coat. Not as thick as this, but a lighter version of that. And then I just went and I sanded the whole thing and then kind of sanded the edges a little bit more to kind of break up that paint. And then after that, again, the same thing. I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. I'm not really going to do it. So I use this wax. So if you're going to use the wax, you want to use it in a well-ventilated area. I'm telling you, it stinks, but it works really great. It probably says to, you know, wear gloves and stuff. Of course, I, you know, don't read the directions. But I mean, if it, you know, it gives you all this stuff, you know, if you have eye-watering headaches, you know, so you know it's not good for you when it has all that on there. You're just going to take that. I'll show you what it looks like. You can tell I use this a lot. Kind of looks a little gross. And I just literally take a chunk out and I, you know, put it on there. My little cloth that I buff with, I just leave it right in there. And what you're going to do when you put that on is you're going to just like little pieces of it. I usually work on like a little towel or something just so that those little pieces don't go everywhere. And you want to like work it with the little cloth until it's, I don't know if you guys can see like that it's shiny. See, I don't see it on when I tip it like that. But you want it to be so like when you run your hand across it, it feels nice and smooth. If it feels a little sticky, then that means you need to keep buffing it. So let me just move this out of the way where I'm not going to knock it down. Okay, now later I'll be like, where did I put that? And there it goes. Let me move that out of the way too. So, and you just kind of keep going until you get it to look the way you like it. All right. So now we have that wax on there, and that wax is going to help our transfer not like completely stick to our surface, and it's also going to help like keep that paint or paste that we just put on there from like lifting up when we peel up the transfer. Okay, so we're just going to be using just this part. So now, especially because this is the first time I've used it, I'm gonna buzz the transfer. So just taking a little bit of the stickiness away. Okay. Now, you know, depending on how you're gonna decorate the rest of this, you can, you know, put your design toward the bottom if you're gonna, you know, stand it up and have like a bow or something. I'm just gonna keep it more to the beginning. I mean, to the beginning, oh my God. To the middle, I have no idea. I have no idea what my brain was trying to say there. All right, and now I'm just gonna, you know, push it down. I only care about, you know, where our letters and everything are. Now, I like this little peppermint here. Oh my God. I don't like this one. So I don't want to put this one on there. So I'm gonna, a little piece of fuzz here. Ooh, this is gonna actually lift a little bit of our paste off because I could see it just did. It's okay. So I'm just gonna, to like remind myself, I'm just gonna go like this. And I don't know why my stomach keeps growling, so if you could hear it, I'm sorry. Like, I think that's why I was like totally distracted when I was talking. I feel like it's so loud, I don't know. I'm not hungry, I can tell you that. All right, let's see. I have 2 red pastes. One of them is so-so. So I know, just because I kind of just peeked, it is going to kind of lift up some of this white. I don't know, you just, especially when you do any kind of distressing or anything, you know, that's, I hate to say it's a chance you take, but that's what like the waxing is really going to help with that. Maybe I didn't put enough on it, but that's all right. I look at it this way. The way that I treated this surface, I wanted it to kind of look old. So if it kind of doesn't come out perfect, that is fine with me. So I'm just going to go right over it. And I'm actually not going to press really hard because I already know that it kind of is going to lift paste off that is already on there. So this piece, I'm actually going to put another design on the back so that it can be a piece that gets left out all year round. I'm not doing that tonight, but that's the plan with it. Now I'm just going to take up my extra. And cross our fingers that it didn't take off too much. We just did a little bit. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way so I don't mess it up. So if you look down by that little swirl right there, you could see some of that, the chalk paste that I used as paint kind of lifted. I probably didn't let it, like I probably didn't let it dry long enough before I put the wax on first thing, because I am super impatient when I do stuff like that. And the other thing too, I might not have put like enough wax, because if you look, that's kind of toward the edges. In the middle, it didn't lift at all. So that's my guess anyway. But again, I'm totally fine with it because of the style of this project. To me, it fits it perfectly. Okay. So there is our first little project. So I'm just going to slide that kind of up here out of the way. And now let's do the other one. So again, like this board, I painted it. It has so many layers of paint on it because I couldn't get it just right. Thank goodness I was not painting it live, because everyone would have died of boredom. This little mark right here, I don't know how, I guess it does show up a little bit. I can't get this off. So at one of the times that I sanded it, I got that mark on there with my sandpaper. My sandpaper had like a little paint on it, and now it's there forever. That's how I'm looking at it. All right, so I'm just peeling this off the sheet. Okay, so now I just want to fuzz this. Just like that up there. So now I know like it lifted that. So now this one, I'm going to fuzz this one even more, because maybe that will also help. Oops. Well, it doesn't matter. So if your transfer ever sticks over on itself, so let's just fold it on the corner. Just don't panic and don't try to rip it apart. The best thing to do is actually to, at least I think the best thing to do is just bring it to the sink and put some, like, just kind of like not hot water, just like warm water, and it'll help you get it unstuck. If it's just like a little bit like that, you could very gently just kind of, pull it back. One time I was doing like a whole bunch of projects. I must have been getting ready for like a show or something. And I had one of those, the great big transfers, and I had it, I had just like washed it, dried it, and I put it back on the paper backer sheet, and it was on crooked, but it's just like a little bit crooked. And I'm like, oh, just had to fix it. You know what? I should have freaking left it alone, because I went to fix it and the whole thing like folded back on itself. And I literally wanted to cry because I just like couldn't fix it. And I had to like put it back in the sink, and oh my gosh, it was, I thought I ruined it. Okay, so I could see a dog hair. So I'm just trying to center it. For where I'm putting it, it does not need to be perfect, because it's going in a garland that is above my slider. So if you're up there, get the spider webs up there too for me. Okay, so I feel a little fuzzy right there. Okay, so we want to make sure it's stuck down. And we really, again, just care about where our design is. Okay, and now with this, I don't really care for these candy canes, but see, that's a good thing. You can make this however you want. I don't know. I might add some candy canes to it. I'm not really sure once I get it in the garland. So, I don't know. If I was putting this on like a dark surface, I would leave the candy canes, because if you look at the transfer, there is actually this is another layer. So you could go and you could do this in white and then do this layer in red. So then you'd have, you know, your kind of traditional candy canes. The same with on the other piece too. But like, I don't know. Just feeling a little particular, I guess. Don't question me. All right. I don't think I'll be like, well, you never know. I was gonna start talking and not realize and just go right over it. I especially do this when I'm like making a shirt because I mean this, if I was quick enough, I could probably like wipe it off. Sometimes with like using red or black, it leaves a mark, but you know. And I'm actually going to switch to a squeegee that is bigger because you have a bigger area. Okay. And this paste is like perfect, the consistency. Well, see, this looks orange on there too, but it's just, I don't even know how many times I painted this because it was starting to really aggravate me. All right, so same thing. We're just gonna, oops, let me just go this way. And I tried to take some pictures of the garland so far. I mean, it has like a big, you know, kind of hole in the middle of it right now where the sign will go. It's so hard to take a picture of. It's like a weird angle. Oops. It's like, it's kind of fancy for me. I'm not like not a fancy girl. No, I'm not, I'm not like a fancy decorator kind of person. You know, like Christmas tree is very traditional, you know, it's like all Hallmark ornaments. This is like, this garland is a little different for my decorating style, I guess you could say. It's kind of fancy. All right, now I just want to get this little border part. And same thing with this. If there's parts of it that kind of don't come out, I'm okay with that because I feel like given the style of the frame and everything, I think it'll be okay to, and the transfer has like little like imperfections like right in it, which a lot of the Chalk Couture transfers do. So, all right, I'm just gonna clean up our lines. Hopefully I'm working quick enough because I feel like this is starting to dry. Okay. Cross our fingers. Okay, good. I was just envisioning all of the like white just like lifting up. I don't know. Nice and confident today, apparently. So if you look at like the words, they have like that little like faux like distressed kind of look to them, which I always feel like is good for, you know, you make a mistake, nobody's gonna know. I think it's supposed to be like that. Oh my gosh, that looks so cute. I have $1 for every time I said that. Okay. Now I've like totally run out of room here. All right, so there is our project. And I don't know, I'm not even sure how I'm going to attach it in my garland, but I will get that figured out and get it up there and take some pictures. So here is our project from right before. I always do, I keep pulling it toward myself instead of the camera. So these 2 projects from one transfer. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night. And look at that, 25 minutes, 2 projects. Granted, the probably like 2 hours I spent painting that. This was only a few minutes, but all right, have a great night.